Hey everyone, so here are 2 pros and 3 cons of using a small tank, such as the 1-gallon Aqueon Edge Lit tank that you see in front of you here. This is the Aqueon that has the LEDs actually below, and man are they bright. First, let me start off by saying though, I do not recommend small tanks for any fish really, unless you have a small baby beta that might have issues finding its food, which a lot of baby betas do seem to have that issue. Or for sick fish, or for maybe like a moss ball, as some people do, and actually do have a moss ball right there. That's the only time I'd really recommend this small of a tank. But here are 2 pros and 3 cons for these small tanks. So first, let's start off with the positives here. The first one, of course, is they fit almost anywhere. This thing is super small, as you guys can see, so you can fit this thing in pretty much any spot. If you have it on in your room, you can have it even on like a table that's right next to your bed, or maybe in your kitchen on your kitchen table. They pretty much will fit anywhere, and they take up very small amounts of room. Second thing is, going along with that, it's kind of an add-on to that first one, is that because they are so small, they really do not weigh much. 1 gallon of water weighs somewhere around 8 to 8.5 pounds. Add in a pound of gravel, you're up to like 9.5 pounds, plus some decorations, you're maybe up to around 10 pounds. Compare that to a 10-gallon tank, which weighs, well, 8 to 8.5 pounds per gallon, so we're talking about 80 to 85 pounds for just the water, plus 5-10 pounds of gravel. A 10-gallon tank can weigh over 100 pounds. So the point of this is that if you have a small tank like this one, you can stick it on almost any type of table, and you're probably not going to break said table. Whereas you stick a 100+ pound 10-gallon tank on a not so stable table, or a smaller table, you could end up breaking the table. So that's another good thing about small tanks, is they can fit anywhere, and they can pretty much fit on almost anything without breaking said thing. Now for 3 negatives here. One is kind of unexpected, is the evaporation from these small tanks. These things evaporate quicker than quick. I mean, within a week, the water level, if you have it up to like here, it might be down to like here after about a week, or even less. It's just crazy how fast these evaporate, and I did not realize that until setting up this tank and having it up here for probably about a month or so. I thought 10-gallon tanks were bad with evaporation, and they are, but 1-gallon tanks and these tiny tanks take the cake on that one. Second one is no room for decorations. As you can see here, I have 1 good-sized moss ball, a moss vine, and a shrimp wood in the back there. And then, of course, I have my filter and the heater. And there's not much room left for the beta. Even though my beta was super small, there's still not a lot of room in here. These objects that are in here are not really that big of objects. I don't have any fake plants in here, or any plants besides the moss. So I mean, if you were to stick a normal plant in here, pan over here, even like this one, your entire tank is basically going to be taken up, especially when you add in the heater and the filter, which you should have. Or you add in these even bigger ones, there's no way. I mean, you can't even add in these bigger ones. So there's really no room for decorations, at least not many. And then one more negative here is the filter. So it can be hard, and actually I'll say this with the heater too, it can be hard to find a filter that is small enough to be in this tank, into a small tank like this, without taking up too much room. And same thing with the heater. So like, I had to use this Nano Filter on here, and even this thing is almost too strong. It is turned down almost all the way. If I turn down much more, it actually doesn't even really come out anymore. So it's turned down all the way, and it still has a decent amount of flow rate in the tank itself. So turn it up too much, and your beta will be getting flown around, or whatever you have in here will be getting flown around into the tank. So it can be hard to find a filter that will do a good job and not push the poor fish or whatever you have in here around, and not take up too much room inside of the tank, because again, tanks are super small and don't have much room. And then for the heater, again, it can be hard-ish to find a small heater, especially one that actually works very well. This top fin can be finicky. There's a lot of reviews where it's not very good. It seems like a lot of the small heaters just do not really function very well for whatever reason that is. Then two, again, you don't want one that's too big to where it's taking up too much room. And they're not actually that cheap. You can spend just as much, if not more, on a 10-watt heater like I have in here as you would on a 50 or 100-watt heater for a bigger tank. So that is kind of 2-in-1 there, is the filter and heater. They can be too big, and they can be finicky, and they can be hard to find, and they're not actually that cheap. Same with the filter. These filters are on Amazon, 15-20 bucks. Again, you can find a filter that is for a 10-gallon or even a bigger tank that's just as much money, if not even a little bit cheaper. So yeah, there you guys go. 3 cons and 2 pros of small tanks such as this Aqueon 1-gallon edge-lit tank here. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys have a good one, and almost Happy New Year's, but that's in, well, it's this week. Alright guys, goodbye.